So I know. Oh, there you are. There you are. I see you. There he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, hey,
Good to
I'm
see
glad.
you.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're able to see the notice because I wasn't able to give you a heads up earlier in the week. So I was like,
Yeah, that's cool. I think it just came up like 10 minutes ago since you put it on there when I
excellent,
read it. So
excellent.
good timing, really. My
Yeah.
missus has gone out with the kids, so even better.
How long you been married?
I'm not married actually, but I've been together for over 15 years now. So yeah,
Now, where in Europe are you again?
I'm in the UK, in England.
Okay, so do they have common law like they have here in the United
Yeah,
States? They have
yeah.
common law. If you're married so many years, hey, you might as well. They recognize it
As
almost like
good
a
as
marriage.
married. Yeah, as good as.
Okay, okay, cool. How many kids you got?
I've got four. I've got four children.
Wow,
Yeah,
damn.
a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, not a lot of people know, but yeah, four
Yeah.
kids.
So these times you get free as a breath
Uh,
of fresh air, man. I'm sure.
oh yeah, when the house is quiet, this is like bliss. This rarely ever happens.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so
Oh,
when you
cool.
messaged me, that you were coming
Yeah.
mine, I was like, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I've just I'm getting over like a real nasty cough as well, and
Wow.
today it just seems to eased off a lot. I'm a lot better today. So I mean, if you did this yesterday, I'll be coughing and spluttering, and so yeah, time impeccable, Michael.
Well, I tell you, I had a. Well, you saw when I was talking with James. Um, so my aspiration is to make my way to Europe in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to like when I talk to James. James loves Motown. I mean, he's obsessed with Motown.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is growing up in Motown, I didn't look at Motown. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I have respect for Motown. But growing up here, I was so what's the word? What's the word I want to use? I was so what's the term when you take advantage of a situation? Well, I have respect for Motown, but it wasn't as a musician. It wasn't where I wanted to go musically. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, as I was growing up and then getting into music, starting to collect albums as a teenager, I tend to will. I mean, I own just about every genre of music, but I was always aspiring to do the kind of electronic music that a lot of the Europeans were doing, like Kraftwerk, Front 242. I mean, just name it. And so a lot of my influences to the music that I do, even to this day, are from like Manchester,
Yeah.
Sheffield, Dusseldorf, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Basically, I want to visit all at least those four when I come.
Yeah.
I, I,
That's
I,
good.
it would be so friggin' exciting. So,
Yeah.
I'm determined. I just got to get myself a passport, uh,
Right.
but I got a little while yet, to get it. But
That's
yeah,
there's some pretty big places, Manchester and Liverpool. That's like massive cities.
but to travel between them is only like maybe a few hours here or there.
Yeah, they're pretty close together. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how long I would be there, but
Right.
I would want to be there at least long enough where I can spend. It doesn't have to be a whole day. I'll be set up in one spot,
Yeah.
and then I'll just train it out and hit those other
Would
places.
Would you do the Beatles tour in Liverpool?
What is? what does that consist of? I mean, is it a long? Is it a 1 day tour? Is it an hour long? three
I'm
hours
guessing it's
long?
just a 1 day thing where you go along in a bus and they take you to all like the historic roads, such
Oh,
as Penny Lane
Abbey
and
Road.
Abbey Road, and those kind of places, and they just tell you the facts and figures of
Oh,
what
absolutely,
happened.
absolutely. I
And,
would do that in a heart. Well, I would like to visit Liverpool. That's one of the spots.
yeah, yeah,
So definitely, that would be one of the things I would want to do.
yeah. I
You
mean, I
know.
would if I was up there, definitely.
Oh, especially man, to stand. I mean, you can stand. You can walk across Abbey Road, right, where the Beatles walked. Can you walk across? Do they
I
allow
believe
you?
so. Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah,
just to be there and see that would be awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just to do it and to see the sites and where they used to live and this kind of thing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you'd have to read more into it. I might be wrong in somewhat of what I'm saying, but yeah, I would do that if I was you, and you're in Liverpool.
Yeah, I've got a little time to do. I'm gonna be doing some research for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And James said he'll take care of me. I'll be good.
Yeah, James is a good guy, so you
He's
look
great.
after
Yeah,
him.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
So definitely want to hang out with him.
yeah.
And if there's any way that we can connect, it would be awesome, Dale.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm right in the south, so it might be a bit,
Kind of
it
a
might be a bit difficult. I'm right along
lo-
the south coast.
longer trip.
Yeah, but if you're heading this way, maybe. But if not, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
definitely want to. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 chief spots I definitely want to hit. So I've been to. I was in the service, so I did a lot of Asia and other parts of the world, but I never got an opportunity to do Europe. So that's something I'd like to do before. You know,
You got to do London as well. You got to visit London.
dude, I can't wait. Ah,
You can spend days in London. You
oh,
really, you really could.
wow.
There's so many museums, so much history. A lot of big bands there as well. In London, as you probably know. So yeah, yeah. You'll be here for a while.
Oh man, who knows? I might like it enough where I might decide to move on over. Cause I,
Well, that's a little
cause I,
extreme.
well, no, it's not. I thought. I mean, I thought about. Wow, I've been thinking about maybe moving away. And where I would go if I did, the Orient would definitely be a place I'd love to move to. Somewhere in the Orient. I love Japan.
Yeah.
But if there's any other place I would really like to move to, I wouldn't mind living in London, you know? Or at least let me put it this way. I wouldn't mind living somewhere in England because I'm sure there are places London's probably pretty expensive to live
Oh God, yeah. It's
in. Yeah.
through the roof, crazy expensive.
Yeah. So, I'd find some place in an outlying area that's close by, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'll
But
be moving near me.
come with me. Because my older brother is still considering. He's thinking about moving out of the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 older brothers. The only reason why I hesitate, Dale, is that I hate to die in another country.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
understand.
because it's more difficult for family and everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I
Yeah.
don't know. It depends on who keeps winning elections here.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Well,
But
excuse me. Yeah,
so what do
visit.
you so what have you been up to, man? I mean, I see you still doing your videos and stuff, which is
I'm just
great.
plodding along. Yeah, making content. I haven't been buying that much in the way of vinyl this year. Slowed down quite a bit and just sort of been buying cheap CDs from Music Magpie and
That's
the few
fun.
charity shop ones. But yeah, I'm still making content. I'm still putting dribs and drabs out there. You know,
Yeah,
doing my thing. So, but yeah, I'm all right. I'm working, so it's difficult. It's very difficult when you're when you got like children and your work and YouTube, you know, it's very, very difficult. I don't think people realise
I
quite how
know.
hard it is, you know,
Yeah, man.
to make videos. You know, a lot of the time I have to make videos, say like at midnight, because that's when the house is quiet. You know, and by that time I'm quite tired when I'm making them. That's why I probably come across quite sort of quiet and a bit maybe spaced out a bit on my videos because it is really late and people don't realise. But it is what it is anyway. How are you then, Michael?
Yeah, man. You know, everything's pretty chill. After COVID, you know, my business never really came back. Uh,
Yeah, I heard about you having
yeah,
big
so
problems.
so I've pretty much been down. But my plan was to downsize anyway.
Yeah,
The problem is COVID made that accelerate. I was going to downsize over 5 years, but with
right.
COVID, it literally forced me. I had no choice because I lost a lot of business.
Yeah,
So, but that's fine because things worked out financially with my military disability and some other things where I've now been able to offset what I lost in my business. So I'm living, you know, I wouldn't say I'm rich, wouldn't say I'm wealthy or anything, but I'm fine. You know what I mean? I'm doing okay. And so I'm grateful for that. But to be honest with you, man, I've paid my dues and I'm ready to spend most of my time waking up deciding what I want to do as opposed to doing what I have to do.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
you got a lot of time to think about what you want to do, you know.
Well, I want to continue doing what I'm doing, like as far as streaming, hanging out on the internet,
Yeah,
you know, with the collectors and stuff like that. So that's never going to end. And then I'm still going to be doing DJ gigs, you know, and stuff like that. It's just the job that I had, my business over
mm,
so many years.
yeah.
I'm really glad to get that to put to the side because I was getting burned out. I was getting tired of product inventory. Oh my god, you know.
You had all that going on when you were streaming with Rachel, didn't you? Which didn't help matters because it was causing you stress and things, wasn't it?
Yeah, that didn't help either, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't a good time.
No,
It
it was a
wasn't
good
a
time.
yeah, but hey, things work out. Things work out for the best.
Yeah, you you get there in the end, even though it's a
Exactly.
struggle. Yeah,
But so yeah, so the crazy thing though is like I'm about to start up a new channel, and some of the folks I stream with now, they're kind of new to it because some of these collectors, not all, but some of them really didn't discover even streaming until COVID hit. You
no,
know,
no,
they had different jobs and they were doing things, you know, and stuff. And then when everybody was still left at home, a lot of the collectors in the collectible community, they started discovering each other. And then, you know, some of the older guys who had been around longer was adopting the younger guys. Now, a lot of these guys now who are streaming, you know, they've only been streaming for like a year or two. And you know, they'll be talking to me and I say, guys, you don't know. I was with the vinyl community. I was streaming constantly all the time.
yeah,
I am not new to this game, you
no,
know.
no. You
But
were good at it, Michael. And you know, although you were on there, I didn't really get the opportunity to properly speak with you. You know,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
because we had a lot going on. There's lots of different people coming and going. It's a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it?
But you could have always come on. You know, sometimes I had two or three, four people, and you could have always come on anytime, deal.
Yeah,
Anytime you wanted to.
maybe so, but like you know, with work and kids, for me,
Oh, I see what you're
it
saying. Right,
might
right,
have been
right.
a bit more
I
difficult at the time.
Yeah,
You know,
I keep
but,
forgetting. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. You're right. But yeah. So I think with this new channel deal, I don't. I don't want to put the kind of time and effort into it that I did before.
No.
So I'm going to be talking in the streams that I have with some of the collectors. I think I'm going to look for a producer.
Right.
I need a second person to help me out because I don't want to do all this again. So my thoughts are, because I know there's a way where you can allow another streamer to access like working your channel and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
I know someone who does that. Excuse me.
yeah,
I've still got this cough, Michael, so you have to bear with me.
no
But
problem.
yeah, there is someone who I know who does that. Who works with ranking the obscure, and he does all the bits he can't do, so he hasn't got to worry about it. Just sort of fills in all the bits and pieces.
Or there may be some content that he or she could bring that I wouldn't have brought. Things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Because I don't want to think too much, and I don't even know if I want to do any video editing. And I'm not expecting the producer to do any video editing. I think everything I'm going to do, I'll do live, and I think I'm going to do shorts because shorts, from what I'm finding out, will get you seen so much quicker by so many people.
They will. Yeah, they will.
I did one short over in the collectible community, and I was surprised. I just out of that one short in a day, I got 3 subscribers.
Yeah,
When and the other thing now, back when I first started streaming, back when we were all streaming, way back when, you had to have 2,000 subscribers to monetize.
yeah.
Then they went there. They said, no, you only have to have 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 now.
Now, nope. Now you only have to have 500.
But I have over 500, so
Then they should have sent you some kind of notice that you can monetize. You can monetize now.
right.
Yep.
Well, I haven't seen anything, so
I'm surprised because I know other people who have gotten 500. They've gotten some kind of notice letting them know, hey, you can monetize your channel if you
well,
want.
well, I've never heard anything about 500 subscribers. This is news to me,
It, it,
Michael.
it just changed recently. And,
Right.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, there are people over in the collectible community right now that have maxed out at 500, and now they're in the monetary stage now. So YouTube has, thank God they've done, much
Yeah.
fresher, newer subscribers a favor because
You have to have so many views, haven't you, to also make it happen as well. But you actually are automatically monetized by YouTube. Automatically, everybody is now. They changed the rules
what
a
do
little while ago.
no matter how many subscribers you have.
Yeah, no matter how many subscribers you have, your videos, if you put out videos, they will still contain ads, but you can't get any of that revenue.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no.
Not until you are properly monetized. Then you can claim some back.
Exactly. Okay,
But
right,
yeah,
but
that's how it works.
but at least they've lowered the bar
Yeah, yeah, that has.
substantially. Because I remember, man, it used to take, even back before I joined the vinyl community, there was a time, man, it would take you several years just to get 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
I'm over the collectible community. Some of these guys have only been streaming for like a year and a half, and they got like 4,000 subscribers.
yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because like the VC, like you just said, it used to be a slow growing process, but now you can pretty much rapidly get a load of subscribers in. If you're doing videos, shorts, putting up
Yep.
posts,
But a
talking to
lot of
people.
But a lot of what the guys and the women in the collectible community is they go on each other's stream. The thing I liked about the collectible community is folks really legitimately try and get other people juiced up. You know,
Yeah,
they'll go on each other's streams. Say, hey, listen, subscribe to him. He's always got, and they hook each other up. And I think this is one of the reasons, one of the testimonies to that community is for them being able to monetize so quickly is that they really have a lot of camaraderie and they're constantly jumping on each other's screens, so they're helping each other grow much faster. They're pollinating each other as opposed to trying to build it on their own,
Right.
which is very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. This is the thing. This is the best part. The communication within the community. I think this is far better than how many subscribers you can have.
Absolutely,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah. It's amazing, man.
and it's the comments as well. The friendships and
Yeah, look
it,
at it. You and
it
I,
goes.
talking right now, and I mean, in actuality, even though we haven't been talking every day or every 3 days or every month, I still have known you since what? When
3 years ago.
has it been 3 now?
3 years, yeah.
What it was before COVID, right? 2019.
Yeah, just before COVID.
Because yeah. Man, time goes by so fast.
I've got a bit of video actually, of you talking to Rachel, and I go on there as the vinyl helmet, and you're like, "Oh no, here he is. Here comes trouble." Actually, I recorded a bit of footage, and I should message you it or something.
Please,
You can have a look.
I would
You can have a
love to
look.
see it.
And the music, even though they're playing in slow motion, they're playing in time to the song itself. And it's like, wow, that's weird. So it's great. Oh, yeah, Helmet's here. Yeah, now
Helmet, what the hell are you doing?
the right thing. Making
What
this.
are you doing there?
Yeah.
Helmet, you're on the interwebs right now.
Man.
Am I? You aren't taking anything from somebody that somebody else's things that don't belong to you, I hope.
Well, he's bringing the only thing the stream was missing, and that's depravity.
Yeah, the criminal element. Look what I got, Helmet. I got here.
That is
English.
I'm busy.
I'm on the job. Uh-oh.
That one has a Rachel. That one has a forest on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I'm looking for something.
In the coffee shop.
Okay, let's see I want to learn what Helmet's up to. Well, what the heck are you looking for, Helmet? This can't be good. Hi, Agate.
Oh, Agate's here.
Yeah?
I have a whole new name for him.
I'm looking for the good stuff.
Well,
oh my God.
I'm not sure you can find it here. It
depends. There is that.
Well, it depends on what he's asking for.
Yeah, well, and we did have record store day, so there is some vinyl he could probably pull.
Oh, okay, that's good. Oh, that's right. Okay, I got you.
Rob Walker's a bit concerned about his own house.
Well.
Oh, Rob Walker is telling Helmet to steal all those McCartney albums.
There you go. Hey, a house is not a home.
Oh my God.
Unless someone's living there. Or how about this?
This won't end.
What?
This won't end well.
No, it won't. This is very it's cool and it's creepy. I love creepy cool.
Oh,
just found a DVD player.
Well,
I might have that.
Well,
you know what's going to happen? Rob Walker's going to buy that thing tomorrow out of somebody's boot.
Right.
Yeah, I might VCLT it to someone.
Yeah. How about this? Are you hot under that?
It is a bit warm, yeah.
You gotta be frying, dude.
It is a bit warm, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, well, that's a good story, Carson. Hey, Carson, you know who you've missed while we've been doing these streams is we've had Michael Fremner from Analog Planet.
Yeah, hey, Carson, you always miss him.
Yeah, it would be great if Analog Planet could meet Helmet.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it?
Uh-oh. What's happening, Helmet? You okay, buddy?
Yeah,
tell you-
right. I just thought I heard the old Bill. Might lay low.
Okay, you got to be
Might lay
careful.
low.
Now, what would happen if a constable came by and saw you right now? Would you be in
I'll have to
trouble?
do a runner. I'll have to do a runner.
Yeah, you just split, man. Yes, Carson, Michael Fremner in the chat.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because it leads to great songwriting.
Yeah, but I think it.
Found it.
Oh, what did you
Found
do?
it.
Oh, you're a threat. You're a hardcore threat. Well,
It
well,
looks like a cassette.
well, guess
Found
what?
the
I got a bigger case than that, pal.
No.
Got jewelry in there. Diamonds.
Oh
And I
no.
found it.
This won't end well,
All
Helmet.
mine.
There's still chance. No, Helmet. There's a chance to turn over a new leaf, a new start.
Nah. Laters.
Oh,
Have a look.
you see it.
It's not the best. It's not the best quality, but it's good enough.
I actually was able to catch chunks of stuff myself from other
Right.
channels.
Right.
Yeah. So you know those little techniques to do it, right?
Well, I didn't at the time. I didn't have like a good enough phone like today, but I recorded it through VCR, through tape.
Yeah. See, isn't that beautiful? This is where old technology actually.
Yeah. I really had to like think, how could I do it?
Yeah. Well, there are other ways, but I, you know something? That's old school. That's something like I would do.
That's really old school. And I had to
Bro.
use a Nintendo Wii to do it, because through the Wii I can watch the YouTube, and because of its connections at the back.
I was going to say, how did you adapt the computer to the VCR? What are different? I can do that.
I think I used a capture USB on my
Gotcha.
computer.
Yeah.
Played the Wii through the computer, and it captured it, and then I think it put it onto a cassette.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah. Bit mad, but there you go.
Because I like you, man. I still got VCR. I got 2 VCRs, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And a ton of VHS tapes, dude, that I had since the 80s and 90s.
Right.
And some of them I go back to. Some of them are starting to degrade, the picture and stuff. But then, depending upon the company that I bought the tape from, like some of these TX or the Memorex, I put them in. Dude, the pictures are still clean. Like, the sound is still strong, even after all these years, bro.
They last a lifetime. Crazy.
Because that tape is, that it's analog, and the wider the tape, the stronger the response you're going to get of visual and audio images. And a lot of these VCRs got those big heads, and that's why you can get these great quality that will literally last you quite some time, but not forever.
No, it will go bad eventually.
Depends on the quality of the tape too.
If you were to leave it alone, of course, it'll last a lot longer. But if you were to keep playing it, then it will degrade. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of these stand. I might pull some boxes out every once in a while just to shuffle through them to see what's on them. And I'm like, geez,
you're not tempted to put them onto your computer?
Well, yes, I do want to. It's going to be a huge undertaking.
Of course.
Now, to hook it up, no, there won't be. I mean, I've got enough understanding and cables that adapt to whatever you know what I'm talking about.
You could do it, but it's time consuming.
Well, yeah, because now, you got to play each tape. You can't speed the tape up.
No, you have to play them all through playback.
So,
you could do that, and then you could wander off and do something else.
Well, eventually, you're right. When I set it up to do it, it's going to have to be done that way because I have so many tapes, bro. But there's so many, the time that it would take to do that, there are other things that I would need to be able to do,
Yeah.
especially technically, because I make a lot of my living on the internet.
I mean, it's only worth doing if there's something, on there you particularly want.
Oh, there's a
Which,
lot of stuff.
if it's something which you can get digitally, then it's probably not worth doing. If you could get a DVD of something, then it's
Oh,
not really worth your time. But if it's something which is precious to you or
oh,
something which
bro,
there is no other copy of, then
dude, I recorded on VCR like it was going out of style, and then I also had cameras. I was always out and about, videos. I got so much stuff that I want to keep. It's crazy. Hours and hours and hours and hours.
you'll be busy then.
Oh yeah, because I used to go out, dude. I used to go out like at night and and do videos. I used to call it dark cinema.
Right.
And I used to walk around and find like old structures and stuff and take images of old cathedrals and things like that, and then do music to them and stuff. Kind of
Yeah.
avant-garde stuff,
Yeah.
And a lot of that footage I still have. And I think to myself, wow, it'd be interesting to bring that footage back out and maybe digitize or reimagine the imagery, or
Yeah.
maybe create new music to the imagery. So there's
Yeah.
all kinds.
You can create new music. I did that to like an old home video my parents used to have, and like some of the music was okay, and some of it wasn't really what I wanted. So I changed the music, like gave it a whole different sort of soundtrack, and it just sounded a lot better, Because I think at the time when it was recorded, they were using like vinyl to record the music, being that it's like really old home video stuff.
Yeah.
And so you got all like the clicks and pops going on, and I just completely got rid of all that. I wrote down all the songs which were on the tape, got clean MP3s of them, and it just played the soundtrack through, and it just sounded a lot better.
So now you create original music?
Not original music, no. I mean, I just had copies of MP3 of the songs.
Okay, other people, and you made a soundtrack using
Yeah,
that
I just
song.
grabbed the songs on a much cleaner format and
Yeah.
made a
Oh,
soundtrack out of myself, and it just sounded a lot better,
and, and this went to just like family home movies, or was this something particular you did?
It was footage of the 60s of my father, because you might not have known that I lost my father about 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Bill.
Yeah, and so yeah, I had this video, and although of course I wasn't born then, it's the only sort of footage I really have of my father, and he's a young man, probably about my age.
Oh, awesome.
And I thought, I want to preserve this, so I put it to my computer, like the digital footage, and then I redid the soundtrack. I kept the soundtrack the same, but put in a lot better songs, which were just clearer,
Right.
cleaner,
Right. Yep. Yep.
um,
Yep.
and it just sounded a lot nicer when I played it through on the digital playback.
Yeah.
Just fitted quite nice. So, but yeah, you can chop things up and edit to them and all that stuff. Once
I'm,
it's got it digital, you can do what you want with it.
yep. 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 But see, I can go even further back than that. I still have Super 8 millimeter film that I took of family and neighbors. I was 8 years old.
Right.
The problem with getting that digitized is that there might be machines out there now that you can purchase to do it, but they're going to be hundreds of dollars. If you go, the type of thing that I need to do is I have to have that film digitized. I would have to take it to a particular house that actually does that kind of work. And man, it costs money.
If you could get it on cassette, then you could do it yourself. Is it not on cassette?
No, it's on Super 8 reel.
Right. then you'd have to probably pay someone to
Oh,
transfer.
I've already looked into it, man. It's expensive,
Yeah,
which I don't understand because you would think now with the technology, just about everything people used to do years ago that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, we can do at home right now for almost nothing. And I'm surprised that they haven't devised a way, even a small machine, inexpensive, haven't devised a way of making it cheaper and something that you could buy and bring home, just like a VCR or anything,
yeah.
that can convert the film to digital. I don't know why
I'm
you.
pretty sure on the cassette I did, the original source was through like 8mm film done on an old camera, and someone at some time had put it to cassette. I don't know who, but yeah,
Yeah, see, I can't even watch it because I would have to be able. And they're not easy to find. I guess if I went on eBay or something or Craigslist, I'm sure they're out there. They're not easy to find, and ones that are in pretty good operating condition are kind of expensive now because they're so old. But I can't even watch it because I don't have an 8mm projector. I would love to be able to watch it. But I keep them in a box in the dark in a cool place in the back of the closet. So I'm trying to prevent the film from getting too brittle.
couldn't you play it on a projector and then record it on your phone as a cheaper option?
The problem is trying to find the projector to do it.
That should be easy enough, though, shouldn't it? Just a projector.
Dude, those projectors were made so many decades ago. It's hard to find parts. I got a what was that I got from uh, my brother had an old reel to reel, and I had gotten rid of my old reel to reel, and I wish I hadn't because boy, when you record music on a reel to reel, the quality is outstanding. Anyway, reel to reels aren't that easy to get a hold of, at least not. They're kind of expensive now.
They are.
But
Yeah.
but my brother gave me a reel to reel that he was getting rid of. He didn't know the condition. It was given to him. He said, "I don't need it. You want it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You might need some work." I took it to a place that worked on those things, and they said it's going to cost you at least $1,000 to repair. I said, $1,000? He
Crazy.
goes, he goes. The parts for this thing are so hard to get. We're going to have to probably go overseas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just some of these parts, man. It's just impossible.
That's the reality of it, isn't it?
But once again, it's not like it's not like it doesn't exist. People find good deals and find things every day. And I bet you, if I hunt it long enough, maybe somebody's got to use it. But I check out estate sales every once in a while and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a great place to find old electronics that are
You might
still
get
working.
lucky and come across one.
Oh, I think I'm looking out. I think it's possible, but like I said, I'm just trying to preserve them so that the film doesn't continue to age and get too brittle.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to run it right back through a machine. They have to thread it through, and if that film gets too brittle or starts breaking up, then you're screwed. But
Should be alright if it's kept in room temperature and looked
yeah,
after.
the last time I checked on them, maybe it was like last year. I didn't unravel them, but they seem
No.
to be okay. They seem
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
okay. Yeah, we'll see.
And you got a lot of music cassettes as well, haven't you, Michael?
Dude, oh
You've
my,
got a box out once. I think you might even have one. I think you might have two boxes. Just full of
way,
cassettes.
way more than that, dude. I've
Yeah.
got CDs up the yin yang, and as well, I got a ton of
I'm
CDs.
putting more my cassettes on my computer now. I'm just using Audacity and a cheap cassette player, and I'm just banging them out one after the other.
Oh, you mean you're digitizing them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so much, man. But I'm glad I held on to a lot of stuff, man.
I'm only doing the ones which I don't have any kind of digital copy of. I don't
Oh,
have
I
a
see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
CD, or maybe there wasn't one available. Anyway, that'll probably be my kids. So 1 second.
Okay.
1 sec.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
That's kids knocking for my kids. So yeah.
Yeah, but just like you, yeah. I mean, as far as audio to digital, yeah, me too. I can do that easily. I can convert my albums to digital. Yeah, that's fine. The only it's just stock footage film to digital. That's the only thing I can't do.
Yeah, yeah.
But just about everything else, because I mean, I get hired every once in a while to do stuff, convert stuff for people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't. I only do like a little bit a day. I don't sort of devote all my time to doing it because it's very boring and it's very tedious.
yeah.
So I think, well, if I do a little bit each day, it just breaks it down a bit, as each day passes, and I can go off and do other things without become too assume, it taking over basically, and just becoming a chore, because you've got to do like the metadata stuff as well, haven't you?
Oh God, yeah, and then
list
that's a
the
whole
tracks
other.
and the
Oh
album
man,
years. It's really, yeah, it does take some time to.
that doggone metadata. I totally forgot about it. You got to document this stuff, man. It's
Yeah,
nuts. Well, now well, yeah, there are certain things you have to, or at least you would want to go in and put into your metadata.
yeah, yeah. Well, you have to really, don't you? There's no sort of way around it. You have to sort of do all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, just after doing one album, you're like, oh, that's enough.
Well, like you said, you could put it on and then go out and break up some.
Yeah, that's recording it though, isn't it? That's recording it. After you record it, you gotta edit it. And you got to put all the track lists.
Right.
Put all the pointers in place where you want the
Uh,
tracks are. Then you got to label your tracks.
well, now don't forget in Audacity, if you got too many pops, you got to clean up those pops.
Yeah. Then you
You
got to
ti-
normalize it, haven't you? Bring it all just.
oh damn! I forgot about the normalization.
Yeah, yeah. You got to get it all right, first time. But once it's done, it's out there on whatever format you want it to be, and you can delete the rest, can't you?
Yeah, unbelievable! Wow. I don't know if I ever asked you, what do you do for a living?
I work for the Royal Mail. I'm a postman.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man, cool. One of my best friends, he's moved to California now, but he comes back here several times a year, because he's got family here as well. Um, as a matter of fact, he'll be back in September. We're going to hang out, but yeah, he's a retired postman.
Right, right.
He used to be my postman in another area of the city where I used to live years ago. And then we kind of became good friends because we, as he was delivering the mail to me, we would start talking about music all the time. And then one day we got on Elvis Costello, and we didn't realize we were both fanatics for Elvis Costello. So we've been, like I said, we talk music all the time. As a matter of fact, on Facebook, he's always posting stuff, old artists and music from the 60s, 70s and stuff.
That's a good thing about that kind of job is you're always meeting people, whether it's like other postmen and women, people on the round, you come across hundreds and hundreds of people.
You know something? As a matter of fact, if I can find it, and I'll put it in your comments. Uh, uh, a person in the locally did a documentary on my friend, and it literally it's on PBS, or it's been on PBS.
Right.
So if I can find a link to it,
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, they did it was like an hour and a half long documentary, and they talked about little segments where they talked about the history of Detroit, but a lot of the documentary was him literally on his route talking to the people he delivers his mail to about Detroit. It's really cool.
We had a DJ who used to work with us. I mean, a serious DJ, and he used to know Fatboy Slim and all the other crew who knew all them lot, you know. And he was just a regular postman, and then he retired, and then we've not seen or heard of him since. But he knew all the big players, you know. You know, Fatboy Slim.
That's huge. Yeah, that's big.
It's huge. Yeah.
You
And
say the postman knew DJs?
there was a
The
DJ
postman, the
who was a
postman was a
postman. He worked in my
Oh,
local office.
oh.
And he was big in the DJ world.
What is his name?
I can't remember his bloody name. That's the trouble.
Oh man.
But he retired a while ago. But
Does he still
worked with,
DJ?
I'm guessing so. I'm guessing so. I think he's still around. But yeah, he knew Fatboy Slim and all the other members, you know, who do it in the south, you know, in the south of England.
If he was big, I bet you he's still DJing. DJs we spin for a long time. A lot of the godfathers of techno are still spinning.
Yeah.
Because they've been spinning since the late 70s, early 80s, and they're still out there. You know, a bunch of them here from Detroit. I mean, you know.
I mean, I was last year or two, my mum had her she had her bathroom redone, and I was talking to a couple of fellows who were working on it, and one of them was a DJ, and he was like really into like Motown and soul and all that kind of stuff. You know, really sort of loved it. And I was like, wow, you know, who would have thought? You know, you're doing my mum's bathroom, and you got the similar interest in music as myself, although it's not my sort of scene. But yeah, he was asking me, you know, well, what's your interest? What do you like? And we were quite opposite in taste, but
what is your real go-tos? Like, what do you really have a passion? What genre? What type of music? What bands do you really have a passion for?
I don't really. I'm all over the place. I suppose it probably would be a lot of the Manchester scene, Oasis, you know, Stone Roses, all that kind of stuff.
Fool's
'Cause
Gold.
I was a 90s kid, so a lot of that was important to me. A lot of the 90s, you know, even pop music I loved, you know, back then.
Yeah.
And because my parents, like, I quite liked music from the 60s from my father, and my mother was a bit younger than my dad. So she kind of liked the 70s and 80s. So I got a whole sort of
That's excellent.
load of decades from them too, you know, plus the 90s. And so it kind of covered everything, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. At least all of the best eras, you know. And I don't think it's because I'm older. Because when you're as deep into music as I am, or at least some of us are, we never stop hungering for new music. You know, there are a lot of musicians and DJs out there who have a real issue with music. And say, music is dead and it's not what it used to be and stuff like that. Which I don't think it's true. I just think they get themselves they push themselves out of the loop, and they get themselves into a bubble, and they think that everything that was old was best. Now, granted, I do feel that the 2000s, or should I say the 2010s and beyond, because the early 2000 to about 2006 was a
Yeah.
really interesting time for me when it came to experimental music. There were some new genres popping up and some new styles that was really cool. But I, I'm not as I was never as engaged in, or I haven't been as engaged in music in the past 10 years or so than I was prior to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It, um, it just doesn't.
I think after sort of 2005, because in the UK 2005 we had a lot of emergence of like really good UK bands suddenly kind of come onto the scene, you know, just kind of exploded like all these great bands, and of course it didn't last as long as people maybe wanted it to last. They kind of
Yeah,
fizzled out after a while,
yeah,
but
like that
music
mid.
kind of dropped off after then. I sort of find by the 2010s
Yeah,
it
it
was
just
virtually done with.
because usually there we have, the next generation will have its revolution. Like, uh, the 70s said, okay, we're done with the psychedelic 60s. Let's get into the rock 70s. And then they decided, or then it moved to disco in the late 70s. And then they decided, well, let's bring punk in. Then they decided, well, let's bring new wave in. Then they decided, let's bring electronic in, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And maybe because the world is so much diverse now, that you don't have these pockets now of really interesting little cults of bands coming up. To me, in my lifetime, the 80s was still, I think, the best decade when
I,
it
I think I think you're right. I think the 80s particularly was a really unique decade, wasn't it? Where you had all these kind of genres and subgenres. It all sort of seemed to come together in a very short space of time. Like all this kind of new
yeah.
music,
I,
and of course the introduction, I suppose, of music TV, the videos and that
oh
changed
my
it.
God, I mean, man, what a time. And I don't see bands being as individual as they used to be. That's the word I'm looking at. Because back then, Adam Ant didn't look anything like the B-52s. The B-52s was nothing like the Specials. The Specials were nothing like the Clash. Yeah, but they were all great, but they all had their own kind of really unique look as well as sound. I haven't seen something like the new romantic movement or the mod movement or or the ska movement. Where are these? They don't. It's not like they used to be anymore. It's almost like the kids today. I don't know. They don't seem to have the. I don't see the same kind of desire to be creative in music that I used to see. It's almost like everybody wants to be like everybody else. There was a time when nobody wanted to be like. The last thing you wanted to do was sound like somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'm not so stodgy and out of the loop where I'm not constantly on the internet looking at stuff. And there's some great stuff out there from some really super young bands. I mean, I've seen some great stuff from some bands, man, that are barely out of their 20s.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, but it seems like it's not as vibrant.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
kids
There's
don't
there's a
see,
lot of great stuff which just isn't in the charts.
yeah.
If you want particular good music which isn't in the charts, which is certain genres or whatever, you have to look outside the charts.
Yeah, but the thing that made the 80s and the 90s as well. Now, I would have to say the 90s are right behind the 80s because the 90s, man, some of my favorite bands that ever came out in the 90s. But even in the '90s, man, it just seemed like there was more variety. You know, uh, it just seemed like there was an energy and a spirit to create, just to really create music. Now it's a lot easier to create music, not necessarily good music, but it's easier to create it. So now we're inundated with, there's probably great stuff out there, but there's a lot of mediocre stuff, and the mediocre stuff is so much. Now you
Yeah,
really kind of have to dig for the nuggets, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's either just the same as this.
yeah. I think as the decades go, it becomes more varied. You know, like the 50s and 60s, you can sort of pick out, well, there's Elvis of the 50s,
Right.
Beatles of the 60s. As you go further in, it becomes more trickier.
It's
It's like the 90s. You can't really say there's anything like the Beatles in the 90s.
exact.
Maybe Oasis, but in size of greatness,
Yep.
it settles down to virtually so many different smaller bands. You know, the variation is so many.
And that's kind of what
It's
I
like
guess.
stretched out.
Can any one band do that ever again? Maybe not.
No, no.
You
What
know,
the Beatles done will never. I mean, it's it,
there's gotta be a band that's gonna come along that has done that will just, something's got to come along that just changes the musical landscape. I want something that changes the landscape. When the electronic came in, it just changed the landscape. When the electric guitar came in, it just changed the landscape of music. When the
I,
Beatles
I
came
don't
out,
think I don't think people have that kind of artistic license just to do what they want and it to be big anymore. It's so controlled now, isn't it, within the music industry of what goes out, how it's got to sound. You know, it's almost like every song almost sounds the same. It's all bricked up, you know, wall to wall
yeah,
sound, you know, or very attractive singers singing. You know, sex appeal is a massive part of it, isn't it? Um,
absolutely.
if it continues with that control, it'll always be that. It'll never be anything else. It'll never be more than that. You
Yeah,
know?
but now, even to by today's standards, of course, a big label is going to get you seen by more people, but independent artists have more control now. There's not really, like, in other words, you could be seen by millions of people without having a big label. It doesn't happen to everybody, but the potential is greater that you can now because of the internet and because of all of the tools and devices that you have now. At one time, you couldn't afford this stuff.
That just might be the door into it, where you can become a sensation on the internet rather than have your music in the charts. You know, be
Wh-
big. You could
Which
do it.
it's kind of already, it's kind of where we are now,
Yeah, yeah, it
but
is.
we're still devoid of. I want a movement. I want to see something that just stops the world, bro. And I don't know what it is I'm looking for, and I think that's the good thing about it. The Beatles came. Nobody was expecting them.
The Beatles were a phenomenon.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
We need
And
another.
they don't come around too often, you know, of these great kind of artists.
No, no, but we're like 4 generations deep from the Beatles. It's about time. We're
Yeah, yeah,
way deep.
we are.
But
Yeah.
you're right, Dale. Maybe where we are now, technologically, we can never have a band be that big again. I don't know. Maybe
I
not.
don't think so. I mean, you can have a really big band, but I don't think they'll ever be as big as the Beatles were.
Yeah,
You know?
or some of the past greats.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You gotta sort of look at the time when it happened as well. You know, like that kind of music must have been so sort of refreshing for people to hear. You know, that I'd never experienced any of that before. You know, and
yeah,
because
man.
we've heard all types of music now, decades into music, it's kind of like, well, what hasn't been done yet? What hasn't been done, which has already been done.
See, and that's the tricky part. That's where things like the Beatles or Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
It's gotta come from there. It's gotta be something that is so friggin' mesmerizing that it
I
just
think it has
stops
to
it.
be like a new genre, doesn't it? It has to be like a brand new genre, a brand new style of music, which no one's really familiarized with.
And that's all that was happening in the 80s. Because Adam and the Ants had this tribal beat. Nobody was doing that before. And then you had another band doing this particular type of electronic. They weren't doing it. There was no ska, at least not worldwide. It started in Jamaica in the late 50s. And then it found its way over to Europe. And then it found its way over to the States. But as far as anybody knew, that was a new form of music.
History proves that it can be done. It's just will it happen again?
I got hope that there are some young people out here who are just going to change. I mean, really, really make a difference.
It might not even be in our lifetime, mightn't it? That's the sad thing. The next big thing might not be even in our lifetime.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. I hope not. At least for music's sake. And it's not like I'm not bored. I'm not saying that there are things out here that don't excite me. But it just doesn't have the same kind of. It doesn't seem to have the same kind of passion behind it that it used to. I guess I'm looking for the youth to be more revolutionary, and they like most generations. It seems like the millennials don't give a shit.
No.
Every generation has a revolution in their music.
Yeah.
70s, we were singing about war, Vietnam, or 60s into the 70s, and then so on and so forth. Seems like the kids, they don't sing about really deep political things anymore. Not that they should, but it seems like the subject to a lot of the music that the millennials are coming out with are kind of lightweight and
a lot of it's profanity, isn't it, and sex, and to like almost extreme kind of measures now. You know what I mean?
Well, that's really always been in music, but I think the reason why it seems over and because you're able to see it more often. It's become the norm.
Yeah, it's been normalized.
It's
so much so young kids are listening to it. Which I don't really want my little girl hearing all this stuff,
Right. Even though when we were younger, it doesn't matter what our generations were, there were bands that were very salacious. When I was growing up, there was I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there was a black woman. Her name was Millie Jackson. Millie Jackson sang what you would consider blues, but she was like literally X-rated.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of her album covers has her literally sitting on a toilet.
Really?
Yeah. And then she had what was considered major hits. And I'm talking about in the blues genre, not necessarily top 40. But in the area of blues, she was huge, bro. Huge. Yeah. But her singing, in a lot of ways, might be more salacious than what they're doing today. But of course,
there was this like duo in the 70s, not really to do with like the music scene, although they had talent in music. They were on the BBC. This duo called Clive and Dave.
Oh, I'm familiar. I mean, I've heard of them, but I would have to familiarize myself with them.
I think they made 3 albums. They're so what's the word? It's so out there, basically. like extreme, you know,
like what? Oh, okay.
controversial.
A lot of sexual innuendos and stuff. Going on.
Yeah. Just yeah. I mean, like the language as well is absolutely foul.
Okay,
But
what are
it's
they?
done in a way which is comical. It's kind of like a dark kind of humor. And these albums were hugely popular. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
massively.
So,
And
and that's the
yeah,
point I'm making. It really has always existed. It's just that, like things like with Millie Jackson, like Clive, and they were big, but they still weren't. They weren't mainstream.
yeah.
But it almost seems like the salaciousness now is mainstream.
You can't. Yeah, you couldn't have thing like that mainstream back then, but now it's more and more, much more and more. You know, even in like films, you know, where you might watch a 12A film and you got the F-bomb dropped in it, you got sex scenes in it, you know, you got violence. These are 12 films.
They dropped the
You know,
F bomb.
the whole bringing down,
Yeah.
you know, of the of and accepting all this now. It is like it's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. But then then you got to say to yourself, well, are you just being old and stodgy because this is just how things progress on? Because in 50 years from now, will people walk around the street nude? I mean, what's going to be 100 years from now?
Yeah,
Or sometimes mankind will shift its 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 way do its morals. It could lead to backlash and things reverting to, well, kind of happening now,
it is. Yeah, it is happening now.
where people are literally, their rights are being taken from
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, that's a
uh
whole other avenue, isn't it? That's a whole
yeah,
other.
yeah, but it's going to affect the arts, and that's the problem with it. It's
Yeah,
going to have some kind of effect on the arts. but
it
um
is. Yeah, yeah,
but I'm not, like I said, I don't go through the day going, oh man, music sucks now. No. I'm still excited, and I still come across new stuff. As a matter of fact, okay, well, you're into a lot of different genres. Have you ever heard of a band called Pigs, 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 Pigs?
no,
Check them out.
yeah,
Oh, they're hilarious.
yeah.
But they're, well, the best way I can describe them would be punk, metal, rock. Uh, yeah, I mean, they're
American band.
trying to remember. Were they speaking? No, I believe they're American. The thing that impressed me the most about them, even though they're rough and rough, man, these guys can play these instruments. These guys are awesome. But the lead singer is he's really quite hysterical. So, and literally, the name of the band is Pigs, 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 7 pigs.
At least to
So,
remember.
yeah. So if you ever, anytime you get a chance, go on YouTube and put in pigs, 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 pigs.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give it a listen.
Oh, they're funny as heck. As a matter of fact, they never come to the city. I'll check them out. They look like they're a whole lot of fun.
Yeah,
But men can play. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, and not that they're brand new, but I just discovered these guys, a few months ago. So I'm always still in the hunt for fresh new stuff coming up.
how many channels do you have, Michael? Because it's not your only one, is it?
I've got 3 altogether.
Right.
The one for the collectible community is called Action Figure Academy, and
Right.
and Dale, feel free if you want to go over there and subscribe there, because I will be, like I said, I will start putting some content. Well, I just put up a introductory video, that shows you the introduction to the channel.
What's it called again? Sorry.
It's called Action Figure Academy.
Action Figure Academy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Kimber popped down here when you guys were out here last. She subscribed to me, and I think there was another guy who said he always lurked my stream, but he never came on. And I think he subscribed as well because I got 2 subscribers after. Yeah, Kimber told me she subscribed as well. But because I was talking about action figures, and Kimber was like, she brought up, she said, "Yeah, I've got this one particular figure." I went, "I have it too," and I showed it to her. She goes, "Yeah, I got it." I said, "Oh, so you understand?" She said, "Well, I'm a big collector," but I said, "Oh, you come on over and subscribe to the channel. At least you have an understanding of it,
I think a while back you were showing me your diorama that you were creating. Did you manage to complete it?
Dude, I've got my whole recording studio is full of different little dioramas, and to the point where I've run out of room, to the point where I'll build a diorama and I'll sit up here and try to figure out where it's going to go. And if I can't figure out where it's going to go, I have to take it down. But I'm working on something called Fig Stock.
Right.
So it's a diorama that is set up with just a bunch of musical acts. It's really freaking cool. So what you might want to do, go and subscribe to Action Figure Academy, because I'm going to be doing a room tour of my figures.
Right.
So you'll be able to see how certain things are set up. So yeah. That particular diorama that I had, I'm pretty sure no longer exists, because I've restructured the setup. As you get new figures in, you always have to decide something's got to go if I want to showcase something.
Yeah.
So it's always, dude, I can't get any sleep at night. I'm up 2-3 o'clock in the morning going, man, I'll be working on a diorama. Go, I got an idea. I'm sitting up here with these figures and shit, placing them around. But I love it. It's unhealthy not to get to sleep, but I love it. I'm having so much fun. Like,
it keeps you happy, doesn't it? It keeps your mind in a good place.
And a lot of the guys that I stream with, a lot of the guys in the collectible community, the thing I like about it is it's an incredibly diverse group of people from all walks of life.
I tell you what, Michael, I've never had you down for someone who would collect figures. After seeing you on Rachel's stream and sort of talking and stuff, I wouldn't even 100 years would have thought this guy collects action figures.
Well, something, like I said, when I was when I was a kid into my early teens, I collected the 12-inch GI Joes as a kid.
Right.
And then I've collected records all my life. So when my friend reintroduced me, because like I said, I went over to his place and he showed me the room where his figures were set up. His stuff dwarfs me. I mean, because he's been collecting for over 20 years and he's got figures that are like life size.
Wow.
And I'm like, you might as well just let me sit here and I'll just die here. I want to be buried in your room. It's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So I had already had a few figures that were sitting in my studio. I got gifted one from a friend, and then I bought one day or something. So I had 2 or 3 figures that was always sitting in the studio, even when I was streaming with the vinyl community. But then when I met this guy, we became friends, and I found out that he was a serious collector. I started going to Target and Walmart and started, oh, that's cool. And then slowly but surely, so I started out with these 6-inch figures. This is pretty much, well, actually I started out figures that were 3.5 inches. It didn't take long for me to realize, it's not doing it for me, because they're really small and I can't get the kind of feeling when I build a diorama out of it. So I started, like I said, going to Target, and my friend was like, "Oh, you ought to check out Marvel Legends. You ought to check out Todd McFarlane. He makes these figures." Man, and I started buying, and then buying, and then buying, and then started watching these different channels, and then seeing other people's dioramas, going, "No, I want to do that." And so I became obsessed.
You do.
Obsessed,
you get obsessed with them. My son, he collects Warhammer 40k,
Dude, yes.
I took him into a shop a couple of years ago, a wargaming shop, and he's just been absolutely like fixated since. Just one time I took him to a shop. It just changed his world, you know?
You got to be really careful because some of the guys they go beyond it. They go beyond the 6-7 inch figures. There are places now that make figures
There are
now.
larger ones now, aren't there? I mean, I think it's got.
Well, the standard ones that a lot of collectors are doing are the ones that are the same size as the GI Joes. They're the 12. They're called 6 scale,
Right.
meaning 12-inch figures.
Yeah.
And then they come in a variety of different ways. But the thing about it is, man, some of these 12-inch figures, they have what is called an elite line. Dude, this one company has done a figure of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. They're doing this technique now called rooted hair, where they actually put real hair on the figure.
Yeah.
Dale, if you saw a close up of Aragorn's face, you would swear it was the actor.
Really?
Yeah. But some of these figures are going for $300.
I see some figures because I like a lot of like the 80s stuff.
Okay.
Like Robocop, Terminator, Predator, Alien, all those kind of franchises.
Yep.
And I see some like the toys, you know, done now, and like you say, they go for £200-300.
Dude, it's
crazy, and they're so high detailed as well. I mean, you can see Peter as well as face, you know, in some of the oh yeah, you gotta want that, man. I love to have that.
And this is really cool. It even opened up and you could put his pistol in there.
What brand is that? Is that Hot Toys?
No, but see, you know a lot more than I thought you did.
Yeah.
No, that's Hot Toys does the 6 scale.
Right.
This is 7-inch, but I love this company. This is a company called NECA. You can
NECA. Yeah, that's right, NECA.
Do you got Target and Walmart, don't you? Or no?
No, Walmart, no. But we can get these like on eBay and stuff.
Yeah, get them online and stuff. Did you ever get Toys R Us?
Yes, we got that.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, we still have it. Yeah.
Oh, you lucky dude!
Yeah.
You'll get everything you need there. We're so pissed off that they closed up a bunch of them in the States here. Yeah. Because at one time you can go in there and get up to you can get 12-inch figures there.
In the UK, we have secondhand video game shops which sell this stuff. They sell it. Like you go in there, they'll have a section of video games, PS4 or Xbox, whatever. You go further down the line, like they have all the Funko Pops, and then you got all like this kind of sci-fi action figures. Did you virtually every town you go into?
Did you ever see Batman versus Superman?
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne was looking for Aquaman? He was starting to recruit the Justice League. There's a scene where he's got a parka on, goggles. He's on horseback and he's looking down at this village where Aquaman is supposedly at. Do you remember that?
No, not really.
Okay, no biggie. Anyway, these guys in the community, they got me. Well, I was this one guy that I stream with him and his brother.
Right.
And then we have different guests come on every stream. So I started streaming with these guys, and somewhere down the road, I was saying, yeah, I'd love to get I've been doing these 6 and 7-inch figures. I'd love to get a 6 scale. I said, but I'm really not wanting to spend this kind of money. And some of these figures are 200, 250, 300, 400. Yeah. And so we were talking about, wow, what is a figure you'd love to have? We're all talking about figures we'd love to have. I said, man, one I would love to have. My favorite film is Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I said I would love to have a 6 scale figure of Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard of Blade Runner. So while we're doing the stream, oh, hold on a second, let me grab something. Here I come. Okay, so while we're doing the stream, and then of course we bring up, pictures and stuff and images and stuff. And so we're looking at different stuff. And then he goes, here's a company who's got the Rick Deckard Blade Runner. I went, get out of here. And he brings it up. And there it is. There's a 6 scale Harrison Ford Blade Runner figure. And the guy on stream, he's putzing around on his computer, and then he takes his cell phone and he holds it up to his monitor. I go, what's that? He goes, I just purchased that Blade Runner just now. I go, dude, oh man. He goes, what's your address?
Oh, damn.
I go, what do you mean? He goes, Mike, he says, I really appreciate you came on our stream. You've been with us for a long time now, and I really appreciate, what you've done for us. He says, I'm going to gift it to you.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And so this is what I got from him. This is Harrison Ford. This is 6 scale. But dude, look at the likeness. I mean, we got him.
So realistic. Yeah.
But the reason why these premium dials get expensive is because they go for total accuracy. So the gun that he has in his hand looks exactly like the one in the movie. Little that blaster. The clothes are this is the exact same tie, the exact same shirt, everything.
Are the clothes actually like texture clothes?
Oh yeah.
Is it plastic?
No. As a matter of fact, they're starting to do some figures, where they have like a pleather jacket. They're starting to come out with figures that have real leather. When
you start getting that kind of quality, then it's gonna be racking up in price, isn't it?
Dude, it's just awesome, bro. Awesome. And so, like I said, I've got my collection is a bit of everything, 6, 7, and 12, And I every once in a while I might get a vehicle, like I got the Batwing. Just recently, I've got the Mandalorian, the ship that the Mandalorian flies in, and stuff like that. I got the '66 Adam West Burt Ward Batmobile, stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, man, it just like I said, it took over. So that got me started. When he got me I was like, cool. Then after that, well, Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors of all time. Hold on.
Here we go.
So Blade Runner, like I said, Blade Runner is my favorite movie of all time. Harrison Ford is probably in my
great
top
film. It's a great film.
And then Harrison Ford is probably top 3. So I would like to own at least a 6 scale of the 3 major IPs that I love so much that define my childhood. So a company just recently came out with a Harrison Ford, the young Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cool.
Once again, look at that sculpt. It's just outstanding. Now, some companies, there are more than one company that may try to do these figures, but if the company does not get the likeness of the actor, if it's supposed to be an actor, then I won't buy it. It's gotta.
The face has to be right, doesn't it?
It doesn't have to be perfect, but it better be as close to perfect as it can.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you spend a lot of money for these damn things.
I think if you could be close enough, when you put it like not so close to you, when once it's on a shelf,
Yeah.
and it still looks good, then it's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, bro. And you know what's really cool about it? It's like having your own wax museum, and I love the reaction that I get from people who come over because they get closed up and go, "Oh my god, it looks like a little person." They just get really super
It's
fascinated.
so big. They're so big.
They're huge.
They are.
Oh, he dropped his gun. But
They're
so
they're so big. What do you sort of surround them with? What
well,
it
once
can't be
again,
easy because of their size.
I really, it's gonna be hard for me to describe it until you see it.
Right.
So, like I said, subscribe to the channel because I've been telling the other folks over the other channel that I'm gonna put more content up. I've been jerking them around, but I found some free time, so I'm gonna be putting some content up in the next couple of days. So I've got Harrison Ford as Blade Runner. I've got Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I need Harrison Ford as Han Solo. That's my last. Once I get that, I'm happy. Problem is, Dale, Harrison Ford does not like to give up the rights to his likeness. Although for some strange reason he did this time around for Indiana Jones because Hot Toys just released the Indiana Jones figure for the latest movie that came out, an old Indy.
Right.
And it looks just like it, bro. It looks like it's shrunken down. Problem is, he hates Han Solo. For some strange reason, Harrison Ford never liked that character.
And the fact that they killed him off as well.
Oh, that really pissed me off, bro.
Means that he's not likely to make a comeback into the franchise either. So it's kind of done and dusted now, isn't it?
Well, he came back for the last movie, but it was only because he was more like a ghost that Kylo Ren was seeing after he had killed him or something. It was sort of flashback or something. But he was in the very last movie for I don't know, 5 minutes. Yeah. So they were able to get him back for that. The fact of the matter is, there have been some Han Solo figures that have come out, but it's been years ago. He seems to not want to give the license out to get a fresh, young Han Solo figure. Everybody's dying for it.
Yeah.
The only problem is if Hot Toys produces it, I'm not going to be able to afford it. Well, I could, but I'm not spending that kind of money on it. So what I hope is that a third party will do it, because the third parties in some cases will do a really outstanding job, even though they're not licensed. Like the two figures, the Indiana Jones and the Rick Deckard that I got, both are not from official licensed companies. So that's my only hope, because unless I can go on eBay or something and join one of these groups that sell them for cheap, But yeah, so that's kind of, yeah, man. It's become an obsession.
Yeah, things like that do, You might get lucky. You might get lucky. It might just happen.
I'll find them somehow. So and then plus I got friends over there. People know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So if they stumble across, I'm sure they'll give me a heads up on it. We'll see.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's secondhand, does it?
No. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind it at all. I just would want it to be very well taken care of.
Yeah.
But no, I'd jump on the secondhand one too, because I don't want to go to a trouble of, I can go out and buy a body, and then there are literally folks out there now who make a living creating head sculpts.
Right.
And some of these guys out here, man, they're doing a really good job of creating these head sculpts and stuff. So some of the guys in our community, if they can't get a hold of a certain figure, they'll just go out buy a body and then they'll purchase a head sculpt, pop it on there.
Make your own.
But I don't want to go through all that. That's too much work. I just rather
Yeah.
find the figure already done.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, you'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
I've seen
Man.
like people who collect like Lego. And,
Oh.
like some of the videos online, and some of them it just like takes over their life, doesn't it? Their whole house is literally a Lego town in each room.
Yeah.
They
Well,
even, like, they even like put holes in walls so like trains can pass through them. How crazy is that? To put a
That's
hole
crazy.
in a wall
That's crazy.
so some train can go through it. Imagine if you want to sell the house or something, you know?
let me tell you, Dale, the craziest thing I've seen. So they've got these. Some of the guys, okay, the community consists of a lot of people, and some guys collect. Not only do they collect figures, they collect Legos, and literally their whole stream is building Legos with one another.
Yeah.
You know, and you can sit there with them and build your stuff and stuff. So I know exactly where you're coming from. But
I mean, some of these places, I mean, like they must have like 50 or £1,000 worth of Lego, maybe more, just sitting there, you know, and then they'll spend £1,000 on more parts to get more parts in. I mean, it will completely consume you, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah, and there are these collectors that collect these life-size figures, life-size.
Yeah.
Incredibly detailed. Well, there's this one video of this guy who has life-size aliens all over his house.
What, from the movie?
Yes.
Wow.
Dude, he's got one of them is literally upside down on the ceiling.
How do you get those?
There are companies that make them.
Wow.
But this guy has got to be loaded, bro.
Yeah.
If I find that link, I probably bookmarked it. If I find that link, I'll send it to you, man. It's gonna blow your mind. I couldn't believe it. You walk in and they're all over the place, but they're life size, bro, full detail. Yeah. And then he points the camera up, and there's one on the ceiling. I'm like, get the heck out of here! Get out of here!
I like kind of like the stuff from Ghostbusters and RoboCop. You know, the proton packs and stuff people make. That's pretty insane as well. You know.
Here's another thing I'm gonna post. I did cosplay at a Comic-Con here in Detroit back in 2019, where I got up in a cosplay and I took my camera and I went walking around with it. Well, I ran into a guy who was in full Ghostbusters regalia, and he had done that pack.
Yep.
To the nth detail.
Wow.
I got it.
With all the LEDs flashing and everything else.
To the nth. I got it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be posting that on the Action Figure channel too. So look out for that when you subscribe, because I'm going to put that up. It's about 30 minutes long.
I think things like that are easier to do now than what they were years ago. I think there's more technology available. I think there's more
things like what are easy to do.
That kind of scale of recreating something from.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people on YouTube make their own RoboCop suits. Literally do it themselves. You know, bit by bit.
You know what the biggest revolution
behind that is insane.
Do you know what here's the main thing that's changed everything, Dale? 3D printers.
Yeah, 3D printers. Yeah.
Because I know guys now. They got 3D printers. They're printing up their, like, if they get a figure, and the figure doesn't have the kind of accessories that they would like it to have, they'll go online,
They
and
make it.
sometimes
Yeah.
man, folks are printing stuff out like crazy now.
Yeah.
I want to get one too, man, because
I think it's a game changer, isn't it?
uh,
You know.
this is what's gonna. This is what I predict. I predict one day that these 3D printers are gonna be as plentiful as microwaves.
Mm.
They're already, dude. You can go out and buy a 3D printer now for under $300. So they're already super cheap. Now, it's not like you can print big things with them because they just so much they can do, or so much of that stuff you can put in them. But it's getting cheaper and cheaper now. And then the average person now, like I can go out right now and buy a 3D printer if I wanted to, because, like I said, they're really getting super cheap. I really feel that we're going to get to a point where 3D printers, every household is going to have, it's going to be like a microwave. And another thing it's going to do, it's going to put hardware companies out of business.
You're seeing it like on the likes of eBay. People having an idea, making it on a 3D printer, and selling it on eBay because no one's thought about it before.
Yep.
You know, and people can't get these things anywhere else, and they can pick them up on eBay. It's insane. If you get one good idea and you can put it on a 3D printer, you can make a lot of money.
And when you were talking about the technology, so what they do now when they're making these 6-scale figures, particularly if they're of an actual person, they actually do a scan of the face now.
Right.
And then they can put it into the computer, work with it, futz it up, get it exactly like it is, and then they literally sculpt it out. But they scan the face now so they can get the likeness.
Yeah.
They used to couldn't be able to do that anymore. And now they can scan to the point now where, like I said, some of these, okay, for instance, let me show you this. Where do I got it? Oh, well, I was showing you that RoboCop, right? I don't know where I put it.
Have you got the Ed 209?
No, and I need to get it for him. I'm looking out for that. I'm definitely gotta get Ed for him. But he came with two heads. I don't have it right in front of me. He came with two heads, and one of the heads is when he takes off the helmet in the movie. One of the heads is an exposed head. It looks just like Paul Weller. So
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller.
Yeah.
Because now they can scan these head sculpts now, and they can make them on even smaller images. So
I think he could do the voice acting for a new RoboCop movie.
Who could?
Peter Weller.
Oh,
couldn't he?
Man.
He's always dabbling in voice acting.
Yeah. Well, they've actually, and it's been years now, and I hear that very soon they're going to be able to erect it. But they've actually already created a RoboCop statue that they're supposed to erect here in the city.
Really?
Yeah. And I was reading an article just recently. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah.
And I was reading where they're trying to find a place to put it, and they think they're going to put it in. I'm just I don't know, 5 minutes away from a what you call a farmer's market, and they're thinking of erecting it in the farmer's market. I can't wait, bro. And if they erect this statue, they've got to have a full celebration, and they gotta have Peter Weller here when they unveil it. They gotta do it. I hope they go full out with it, man. That'll be so cool.
Yeah, I'd love to meet the guy and get his autograph.
That's why I hope they do that here. Like if they do an unveiling.
Yeah.
Oh man, they gotta bring them. They gotta bring them.
It's insane. Like back then, because that was such a violent film. Like people like myself, who were probably about 5 years old when we watched it, and of course, a lot of us at that my generation, who are fans of that film, have gone on to like be involved with the RoboCop documentary and stuff.
Yeah,
it's such a great movie.
It is, man. It really is.
Yeah. It's timeless, isn't it? It's classic.
Doesn't get old, that's for sure. Hasn't gotten old for me.
No, no.
You know. So
Same
you're a
with Blade
big,
Runner.
yeah, oh, dude. Still out of all the movies that come out since then, it's still my favorite. Even to this day.
Ridley Scott directed it, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you like the sequel? I thought the sequel was cool.
I've not seen it.
Oh, you gotta see 2049.
Right.
If you're a Blade Runner fan, there's not one Blade Runner fan that I know now that didn't like 2049. Everybody said if you're gonna do a sequel, it's got to be done right. They did it right. They really did it right. The sequel is awesome, bro.
I quite like. Is Harrison Ford's not in it, is he?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only. That's the only reason why I got excited, because when they first came out and they announced that they were going to do another Blade Runner, I said I could care less, because if Harrison Ford's not in it, and then when
I recall it coming out now, and it's just completely like gone over my head, because I think I just assumed that it's just going to be crap.
oh no, he's in it, and no, bro, it's awesome.
Right. Okay. I'll have to have a look at that then.
Yeah, you'll like it. I think you will. I'm like I said, I don't know of any true Blade Runner fan that didn't go away pleased. Everybody,
Being that you're the Blade Runner fan, and I'm guessing here. This is a guess. Do you like Ghost in the Shell?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I always thought about. I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
No, and I remember when it came out. The only thing I can remember was people didn't quite jive with it. It didn't quite resonate.
Right.
I think one of the reasons why it had some issues is because they did kind of a culture swap. Instead of having an actual Asian person play the character, it was, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson or somebody or something.
I'm not talking about the live action movie. I'm talking about the animes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the live action movie.
No.
No,
I don't think it's quite the same, is it?
I am, to be honest with you, I am not an anime fan.
No.
But there was a movie that I was introduced to years ago. And at the time that I saw it, I didn't know it was anime until a little later when I started learning what anime actually was. But somebody said, hey, you ought to check out this movie. It was anime. It was Vampire Hunter D. Familiar with that?
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually still have the movie. I dug it.
Have you seen the Batman Dark Knight films, like the animes?
No, I never
Oh,
have.
man. You got to see they've done two, and they're absolutely brilliant. Peter Weller does the voice acting, and they're superb.
Wasn't one The Killing Joke?
No, that was an anime, but I'm talking about the what's the writer who's involved in it? Is it Stan Lee? No,
that's Marvel. You're talking DC if you're talking Batman.
Yeah. Anyway, it's done by the people who made the comics, and
boy.
they're absolutely superb.
Because more than one person wrote and drew Batman, so I don't know. Yeah.
I've got them. I can dig them out and show you.
Yeah, because it could be anybody really. Because, like, for instance, and he just died recently this year. He's one of my favorite comic artists. Was not just flipped out of my mind. Oh, come on, Mike. He did Batman. I can't get it in my head. Oh my God! Hold on, let me jump on the net here. It's so crazy. Batman.
Anyway, yeah, this
Oh,
Batman, The Dark Knight
oh,
Returns,
Neil
Part One.
Adams. Neil Adams is the artist that I'm thinking of, but he's only. Oh, wait a minute.
You got to see this film.
Hold on. You know what? Hold on, Vinyl Dale. Oh my goodness. Dale, this is insane, man. Let me look what I have in my library. Show me what you just pull up what you just showed me. What was that you just showed me?
That's the one. That's the Part One.
I got a deal. I haven't even watched it.
You gotta watch it, Michael.
And I've had it for a few years. I got it at a doggone.
Do you have Part Two?
I got it at a thrift store. I got it at a thrift store.
Oh man, you got to play it.
I got it for $1.
Bargain.
But it's only part one. I don't have part two.
It's so sort of gritty and dark. It pulls you in like no other Batman anime I've seen. I've done such a stellar job with that. Seriously, 5 stars.
Wow. Okay, so I picked these all up at the same time at the thrift store for $1. I got this one as well.
I can't quite see. You have to read out the title.
Batman Dark Justice.
Dark Justice. the rest of them are pretty good, but that part one and part two of
are you familiar with this one at all?
I've seen them all.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then you've seen this one then. And this is the last one I got, at least of this particular animated Batman.
Yeah. Is that the series? That's the series, isn't it? Of the 90s series. Although they did do a few feature films.
Yeah, I'm trying to it doesn't look like it's a compilation of several episodes. It looks more like I think it's just one movie. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't seem like there's anything here that indicates it just says Batman, Dark Knight Crusader, Batman, overcoming dangerous armada of Earth intruders in Justice League Dark Knight. I don't know exactly if this is a movie or one episode.
It could be a movie.
I could have sworn I started watching one of these.
The one's the what?
I think the one I'm gonna check this out though. Now that you tell me.
Oh, that's killer. That is absolutely killer. You need to watch that one. And if you like that one, thank you, Millie. If you like that one, go get part 2 as well. That's available as well. You might not have that.
No, I don't. It's just part 1. Like I said, it was a thrift store find. Yeah. You're sitting up here talking about and I'm like, see, that tells you how much physical media I have. I forget what I have.
I do too.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I had that Jethro Tull album. Yeah. But awesome.
Yeah.
And,
you got one there. Peter Weller as well, his voice on there is brilliant as well.
Okay, so he's doing Batman.
He did Batman, yeah, yeah,
Oh wait a minute, it's Chippy on the credits.
yeah. Go have a look.
Yep, Peter Weller.
Yeah, there you go. The man himself.
I don't understand why he didn't do. What was the reason for him not doing RoboCop 3?
He didn't agree with the movie.
Well,
He
it
didn't like
sucked.
where it was going, and
Well,
so he didn't do it.
smart enough, smart man.
Yeah. He is a smart man. He is.
And that's why I would love to see it. I mean, he can still do another one.
He's aged poorly, though, isn't he? Unfortunately.
But the beautiful thing about it is, he's first of all he's a robot, and then when it comes to his face, when he has the helmet on, all you're seeing is a jaw.
Yeah.
But, and then when you take the helmet off, he's going to have prosthetics on anyway to make his head look messed up. They can always, and then they got de-aging as well, even if they wanted to use it.
Yeah. They could do it easy. All they have to do is get another actor to play RoboCop, and they can put his mouth on with a computer.
Yeah.
And then with the voice overdubbing what's going on, his voice is just like he is RoboCop. You can't replace him.
But you still can put him in the suit. Why not? He's not that old. I mean, he can walk. Listen, man. You got they were able to get Michael Keaton back into a Batman outfit. I think they can get Paul Weller back into a RoboCop outfit.
Yeah, but like if you listen to like how they made the movie, and particularly the first one, he was losing like tons of water through sweat wearing the suit.
Yeah, but
it is an absolute stinker of a job to do to wear that.
Yeah, but that was years ago. I guarantee you they can come up with a more lightweight outfit for it.
They probably could. Yeah. I mean, look at all the Marvel stuff they do now. You know, it's come a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
You know,
they can get them in. I'm sure they've advanced somewhat. In that
I don't think he would really need to, but yeah, it could be done.
You don't want to see him back in the actual suit anymore?
I would like to, but I don't think it's not necessary. So long as the voice is in place.
As long as the voice is in place, yeah.
You know, you get some younger actor who can wear the suit and
yeah.
And, you know.
Well, Ben Affleck is doing it. He pretty much for that last Flash movie. I think they said most of the time you saw him in the Batman outfit, it was somebody else.
You know, originally Arnold Schwarzenegger was
supposed to be
RoboCop. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, man.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have worked.
No.
Especially with his voice, it just wouldn't have worked.
Thing is that they made the suit, so they had to pick a person who would literally fit in the suit. It's kind of a funny way of doing things, isn't it? Really.
There'd be no way of getting him in those suits.
You know, they had to have a real sort of sharp jawline to fit in the suit, which they made.
And not only that, the suit that they made, I mean, Schwarzenegger's physique is over exaggerated. So, I mean, they would literally have to even more.
Bearing in mind, this was in the 80s when he was like literally at his peak as well.
Oh, there's no
when he's
way.
Like at his biggest. You know, the suit would have made him even bigger, wouldn't it?
And he would probably wound up looking kind of silly. I don't think it would have worked out, man.
No, I don't think it would have worked out.
Yeah. He was fine as, you know, the roles there. I had an opportunity to meet him when I was younger.
Yeah?
Yeah. He had, I mean, he didn't have any real movie fame except I think he had just come out with Hercules of New York, which is considered one of the worst movies ever made. But he did a movie called Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
You ever see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
He had just done Pumping Iron and wrote a book. He was doing a book tour. So me and my a friend of mine. This is back when I was in high school. He was really, really into martial arts, weight training, everything. And so he was big into all of this stuff. And he said, "Hey, man, Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to be at JCPenney at the mall doing a book signing. Want to go?" I'm going, Heck yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Heck yeah. So we went to a J.C. Penney. Literally went down into the basement of J.C. Penney because that's at that time that's where they had the weight training gear and sports and stuff like that. And we go down the escalator. We go over to the sports section. A bunch of people all gathered around. Lo and behold, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger sitting right there at a table. Got his books, and I remember he had a plaid shirt on, rolled up,
Yeah.
And I remember he was standing up talking. I remember a woman going, "Take it off, Arnold, take it off." And Arnold said, "I was born with this body, but not with this good." He didn't take off his shirt, but he did flex, And everybody, yeah. But yeah, I had a chance to meet him.
Yeah,
so that,
amazing.
Back when, way before he was even Terminator, all of that stuff. So that was really, really quite exciting. But he was still a major. I mean, at that time, he was going on what? He had already won the Mr. World like 4 or 5 times at that point. Because I think he's got the most wins. I think he's got like 7 or 8 consecutive wins.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. Yeah, consecutive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you ever meet any major stars in music or film?
No, not really.
No? Not one.
No. Well, maybe the odd English actor, but no one you would know.
How do you go ahead? Test me.
No, it'd be pointless. You wouldn't know.
It said Benny Hill. Yeah, I've heard him.
No, there's not a chance. There's not a chance that you would know these people.
Right. Well, Dale, I'm going to be getting on. Man, this has been awesome, bro. I'm glad. Yes. I'm glad you saw my notification, man.
Yeah. I'm glad you messaged me when you did, because it's good to talk to you, Mike, and catching up with you.
And we'll catch up more, man. Yeah. This won't end, here.
Yeah.
And like I said, feel free to come over if you want. It's no big deal. You don't have to, but feel free to come over and subscribe to the other channel.
I will do.
I believe the algorithm is now. At one time, if you put in Action Figure Academy, you'd have to scroll. Now, if you put it in, I'm pretty much near the top, so it should come up. You'll know it when you see it, though.
Yeah. If there's other streams you're involved in, I'd sort of come along and say hello.
Absolutely. Well, once I get up the Action Figure Academy, got that going, I'll have people coming over from the other streams, and you'll be seeing people pop up there from the other channel and stuff. So.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, watch that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Make sure you do. Watch it tonight and let me know.
I definitely. Well, I can't promise I'll watch it tonight, but I will watch it. I'll watch it soon, and I will let you know.
That's good enough.
All right, Dale, we'll be talking again soon, buddy.
Yeah, you take care.
You
Catch
too,
you later.
Man. You too. Take care.
Bye for now.